Andrew Duncan here with Robert Johnson, president of the Duncan Duo team, and Mike Yates with Atlantic Bay Mortgage. Great article that I saw this week. 40 million Americans have no credit score. I'm not talking a bad score. I'm talking no credit score. That is amazing to me. And again, if you're a Dave Ramsey fan, you know, he encourages you not to have debt. Maybe you've just done such a great job of paying cash for everything that that you don't have a credit score. I doubt that's really the case. My bet is that you're living, you know, you're someone, if you don't have a credit score, the likelihood is that you're, you know, maybe you don't have the right banking relationship, or you're paying for, you know, bill services or money orders, and you know, establishing a credit score is a really important part of, you know, building wealth. It's a really important part of, you know, getting a mortgage and qualifying for credit. And not only that, but, you know, when you do get credit, it doesn't mean you have to use it to your expense. There are plenty of people, myself included, that, you know, utilize credit cards to earn points, to get free things, to go on trips. And I don't pay any interest on any of that. So again, you know, we early on in our careers, we were big advocates of the no debt with Dave Ramsey. Now we use debt to our advantage to an extent, but the reality is that, you know, if you're someone that doesn't have a credit score, we want to give you some tips, you know, for some things you can do to have a better grasp on your financial livelihood, and also to avoid wasting unnecessary money on things that having a credit card can help you with.
One thing that I was going to say too, if you're not, you know, on top of a mortgage, but if you don't have a credit score and you're not paying cash, it's very, very difficult to get financing for anything. You may even have trouble, for instance, if you need to get a rental. You know, a lot of rental places pull credit as well. So
correct.
You got to have scores for just about anything that's not cash related.
In Florida, 16.7% of the credit age population has no credit score.
That's really unbelievable.
And what I think it is,
really high.
To me, it's got to be, you know, again, looking at a lot of 18, 19, 20-year-old people that have lived under their parents' roof. And think about it. It does make sense to me that number is higher today, because I think kids are staying at home longer. They don't need credit. They're at the bank of mom and dad. But the important part of it is, at some point you're going to go out on your own, and it's going to be important for you to establish it. So, you know, there are some reasons for it. You're new to the market, aka you're a new adult. You know, you're 18 years old. You're an infrequent credit user, or rare credit user, or you have no accounts. So establishing a credit score doesn't require you to go out and go into a bunch of debt. You can get a couple of credit cards that you use a few times, and then you pay the, you know, put $100, you know, in expenses on it, then write a check for $100 to the credit card company. And guess what? You're even, Steven. It didn't cost you any money, but you're building that credit. You're showing you can pay things on time. And again, if you're someone who's able to save up the cash and buy everything cash, great. Most Americans are not, you know, don't have the net worth to be able to do that, to start down the path of home ownership or even renting. You've got to have a credit score. You've got to build some credit.
Yeah, I think the biggest mistake that a lot of people make when they're starting to establish new credit is just what you said, getting that credit card and immediately maxing it out. And I've even heard people say that, you know, they talked to a lender before, and the lender told them to do that and to max it out. That's horrible advice.
Agreed.
Because
you don't want to have your utilization ratio.
Utilization, right. So part of the credit scores is also the utilization on, you know, individual accounts and the overall score profile, or overall utilization for all of your accounts. So maxing it out is going to drag your scores down. So it will help you establish credit, but it's probably not going to help you establish good credit.
I know one of the things I like about the article with that percentage is, I think so many kids, when they get into college, and the credit card companies, they just prey on you.
Oh, it's too easy to get.
They want you to go. They're going to give you $2,000 limit. You know, they want you to do it. You're going to go out and blow a bunch of money, and then you're going to get into debt, and then you're going to go get another card. And then, so the reality is, there's a way to do credit cards right, and there's a way to do credit cards wrong. Unfortunately, our kids today are not taught financial literacy in school at all. They just aren't, at least rarely at schools. And the struggle is they come out really not having any idea of what to do or what not to do. So if you get a credit card, the point is, let's say you get a $1,000 limit. The point isn't to use the $1,000. The point would be to probably use less than half of your credit limit and set it up in a system where you can pay it in full Maybe you put $100 on there and then you pay the $100 when you get paid. The reality is that when you show, when you show that you can pay over time or show that you can pay it in full and you can pay your bills, your credit score starts to rise. Some tenants, some landlords are starting to report rent payments on tenants, which is helpful as well.
And I think that they've recently, and this is just within the past month or two, they've even changed that, utilities are going to start reporting to
Correct.
the credit bureaus.
Just about everything is
a whole bunch of stuff that they didn't let report are now going to report. So I think that will help people get a credit score.
Sure.
But still, you want to make sure to pay those bills on time.
If you have a responsible child, if you're an adult and you have good credit and you have a responsible kid, maybe a college student, there are ways that you can help jumpstart their credit too. You can put them as an authorized user on your account.
That's what I was going to suggest.
You can put them as an authorized user with a ceiling. In other words, they can only spend so much. You can put them on a budget on that credit card. The nice part about that is that they're getting the benefit of your credit score and your on-time payments as an authorized user. And we've already done that with our daughter. Our daughter already has credit established because she's an authorized user on a couple of our cards. And we give her small amounts. Here's your card, and the limit or the ceiling on that specific card number or virtual card number is $100 or whatever it is. So there are a lot of different ways that you can help your kids kind of jumpstart and establish a little bit of credit, before they're even 18.
And if you don't trust your child to not go,
then just don't tell
within
them.
a budget. You don't even have to give them the card.
Correct.
You can still add them as an authorized user, but not physically give them a card.
Yeah, you can do a secured card too, where
Right.
you have them put down like $500, or you put down $500, and then it's like that's their limit for the card.
Right.
So there's a whole bunch of different stuff that you could do.
The secured card, I'm glad you said that. If you don't have a credit score, that's one of the easiest ways to get a credit
that's
card.
what I did.
Yeah,
for
because
my
it can be
very first
challenging
card.
to get one if you've never had credit before. So secured credit cards are sometimes the easiest way to get one.
I think, and I think the other side of it is, I think it's important if you're going to teach your kid financial literacy, it's important for them to at least deal with the responsibility of having a card. They may make some mistakes, they may overspend, but you know what? They're at least learning the consequences of it at an early age. I just think so many kids come out of school with very little financial education, and a lot of this, not having any credit, is part of that, but it's also, I think, a reaction to what happened to our economy back 7-8 years ago or more, and how many struggles our economy had, and at that time there was so much, people were in such debt, credit card debt, college students, that now almost the reverse is happening. The parents are like, no credit cards, no credit cards. It's just like the mortgage underwriting rules. We went from the mid-2000s to having, do you have a pulse?
No rules.
Do you have a pulse? Do you have a job? Okay, we'll believe you. Here's a $400,000 mortgage. Thank you very much. To then it got really, really rigid where it was like, we need a DNA sample. We need to follow you around for a week. We need every documentation of everything you've ever done in your whole life to get a mortgage. It's kind of ebbed and flowed, and I think that a lot of kids today coming out not getting credit cards is probably from their parents who went to college, did a lot of really dumb stuff with credit cards, and now some of it's a bit of an overreaction, towards their kids having an